Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, seemingly Belli might be bye-bye. Look at some speculation that the Yankees might be on the assumption that Bellinger won't resign with the team. So kind of look at that situation. And Brian Cashman busts another bullpen move, one of his usual waiver wire pickups. This time it's Caleb Ort, formerly of the Houston Astros, who's recently DFA'd after they come to terms with Japanese starter Tatsuya Imai. So Yankees pick up the burly right-hander there to add to the bullpen mix for 2026. So we'll kind of get into both stories here, but before we do, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talking Yankees podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And of course, there's the YouTube version of the show. Go to YouTube, search for Section 420 Talking Yankees, and subscribe there as well. So I guess we're going to get into the Bellinger stuff on the second half here because it's sort of an ongoing thing. But now, seemingly, according to ESPN's Buster Only, at least with a source he has with the Yankees, they're right now operating under the assumption that most likely Bellinger is going to sign elsewhere. Would be a little disappointing there, but we'll kind of back into that because, first, maybe we'll just look at the fresh meat, new guy in the locker room. Sort of like when a new guy comes to prison, everyone kind of sticks the mirror out the bars there to see who this guy is. So if you're not familiar with him, we'll kind of give the background. That's Caleb Ort, the 33-year-old, kind of a big, burly strikeout guy. But as mentioned before, released or at least put on waivers by the Houston Astros to make room on the roster for Imai, who they signed recently to a 3-year, be up to a 3-year deal. So not that the guy was terrible. I guess they just wanted to make room on the active roster there, and I guess someone had to take the fall. So they put him up on the waiver wires, and the Yankees decided to pick him up. And the usual Cashman sort of deal. He's always has his eye on other teams. Waiver wires, picking guys off the bullpen. That's how they got Tim Hill and finding guys there like someone like a Fernando Cruz or a Clay Holmes a couple of years ago, and see, or even like a Luke Weaver, kind of find these guys that kind of maybe never really have some good stuff, or maybe figure a change of scenery and bring them to Yankee land. Somehow they could transform into a better pitcher. So this seems to be the latest project. So there's a lot of upside to this guy. A lot to be. His swing and miss numbers are good. Now some of his other numbers in 2025 weren't good. So you kind of see why Houston was kind of willing to risk throwing him out there and having a team, especially a rival like the Yankees, pick him up. But again, the backstory on him. So he's 33 years old, but he's kind of a weird 33-year-old. So he's still under contractual terms. So he's arbitration eligible by next year, and then he's not a full free agent until 2030. So kind of a weird guy, be at 33 years old, but you're still under team control for a couple more years. So which we call like a late bloomer. Fernando Cruz is a little bit like that as well, so a little bit of a late bloomer type of guy. So if you do bring this guy aboard and he has success, you do have him under control at least for the next couple of years. So that's kind of a bit of the upside on the guy. As mentioned, kind of a big, tall, burly guy. Features a fastball that's usually around 96 miles per hour. Also has a cutter at 91 miles per hour, and then what like everyone seemingly have now, a sweeper at 86 miles per hour. So swing and miss type of stuff. As mentioned before, some of his numbers impressive, some of his numbers not impressive. Now you want to look to 2025. Good news for the most part, seemingly healthy. Pitched in 49 games. Of those 49 games, appeared in a total of 46 innings. In those 46 innings, struck out 49 guys. So here's a guy who, again, averages a little bit more than a strikeout per inning, which you like to see. What kind of was his bugaboo last season was the walks. 27 walks in those 46 innings. So you kind of don't want that. You don't want some guys coming to the bullpen issuing walks, and that is probably what led to his ERA, which is, again, on the high side at 4.89. So, that you have to be worried about a little bit. Did also surrender 35 hits. 25 earned runs, but held opponents batting at 180. So here's a guy who held opposing hitters to a batting average below 200, so you'd like to see that. So a lot of upside to the guy, and also his 2024 was cut a little bit short, only appeared in about half the games, 22 games, and in there he pitched to a brighter ERA of 2.55, so hopefully the Yankees get probably more of the 2024 version of him than 2025. I think, again, he was a terrible there, but again, kind of walks got a little to him last year, and then of course you come in, walk some guys, and give up some hits as well. Next thing you know, that's how your ERA balloons up to 4.89. But again, also has the swing and miss stuff. You like those 49 strikeouts in 46 innings there. So a good raw talent guy to bring in here. He's 33 right now. He's going to be 34 in February. So I don't know if it means that much. Again, he still throws 96 miles per hour. So again, a high velocity, high 90s type of guy, swing and miss type of guy. So bring him in here and just hope for the best. Again, just throw a little healthy competition in there. Where again, the Yankees have lost some guys. Devin Williams, not to say it was a big loss, but as well as Luke Weaver there. So, those guys had their ups and downs last season, and, you got to kind of to replace those guys, those swing and miss guys. So, or might be the guy to kind of do that. Obviously, probably can't be any worse than Devin Williams, and hopefully he can just be up to the level. Probably not gonna be the good version of Luke Weaver, but even if he's like the mediocre version of Luke Weaver, that could still be a good asset for the Yankees. So Cashman not really making a blockbuster move, but at least bringing some good talent in there for the bullpen into the mix there, and see what happens if he's able to make the team. And obviously he's got a good shot if he keep up with that stuff there, because again, the Yankees do have to make up to the loss of Weaver and Williams, even though their 2025 campaign wasn't that great. In addition to that, Bellinger, seemingly according to ESPN's Bust Only, I guess whatever source he has, saying that the Yankees are now operating under the assumption that Bellinger's probably going to sign somewhere else. Seemingly, like the Yankee right now, the offer is somewhere around 5 years, $30 million per year right now, and it seems like Bellinger obviously either wants more per year and/or more years in total. And there's all sorts of rumors out there that supposedly, Bellinger and agent Boris is kind of looking for a 7-year deal, which I don't think the Yankees are going to touch that. And I don't know how many other teams are going to touch that. And of course, then the Yankees might be looking at some other areas. And as we mentioned both here and on the YouTube version of the show, Bo Bichette might be a good addition. Again, if he's still out there, and Toronto can kind of leave him dangling out there for another team to sweep him up. But you're hearing all sorts of stuff that he's looking for a contract anywhere close to the $300 million mark, which I don't think the Yankees want to go near. Again, if they're not going to even go $150 million or more for Cody Bellinger, even though Bo Bichette's a little younger, he'll be 28 when the season starts. I don't see them going near Bo Bichette, where it's going to cost them $300 million over the next so many years. And of course, the other outfield option would be Kyle Tucker. Again, also hearing noise that he command a contract anywhere from $300 to $400 million as well. Again, he's a little bit younger, Bellinger at age 28. And again, same thing. I don't see the Yankees going anywhere close to those numbers there. So if it's going to take $300 million for Bo Bichette or $400 million for Kyle Tucker, no way the Yankees are going to be in on that. The only thing they're going to be in on is Bellinger. Whether it's 150, 175, somewhere in that sweet spot for 5 years, that's probably as far as the Yankees are going to go. And the longer this drags on, hard to see if this favors the Yankees or if it favors another team. I don't know who else is jumping in. This reports right now that Bo Bichette's going to meet with the Phillies on Monday. Kyle Tucker, I think he visited the Toronto spring training facilities down in Florida, whatever that really means there. So I don't, again, if that's the case there, I guess I just don't see the Yankees going to go need those two if you're looking at $300 million or more for those two players there. Not that they're not worth it there, but I just don't think the Yankees are in that position to drop big money on a player in that position. Now, let's say the Yankees lost Giancarlo Stanton or something like that and really needed to make up for some offense, then I can see that in the case there. But I don't just see the Yankees, dropping $300 million because, Bellinger left the team there. So if that's the case, then those seem unlikely, and they just might roll it forward with what they got there, which might be just some Dominguez in left field, and maybe Spencer Jones wows. Maybe he gets some time out there possibly, and he kind of hold down the fort, and with Rosario maybe coming off the bench for some late inning defense, and just kind of take it from there and see what happens along the way. Maybe someone has a breakout season, maybe make a trade, and then take it from there if you have to make a move at the trade deadline. So that's where we stand right now. With all that being said there, I just don't know what other team, who else is out there that's going to give Cody Bellinger a 7-year deal. So right now for both him, it just makes sense for the Yankees right now. Man, I'm just saying that because I'm a Yankee fan, but I just don't know who else is out there is going to give him a 7-year deal there. I just don't see that happening. Cohen could possibly, but the Mets right now, they look more in a rebuilding mode where they're looking to strip off payroll. I don't see them adding payroll and something like Bellinger in this particular situation. So I don't see the Mets as a fit. Could it be some this random team comes out of nowhere like Toronto? Possibly, but they want to commit to him for 7 years. I just don't see that. So everyone just might just be, drawing a line in the sand and see who blinks first. That this could be the case, but seemingly that the Yankees are at least going to make some decisions with the fact that maybe he's not going to be on the team. And then if they do make a decision on someone else, then they might just pull the offer away from Bell and just say, all right, well, we've gone plan B and you're not included in plan B, and good luck wherever you end up there. So we'll see what happens. So for the short term, Kaylee Bort, new Yankee official. Bellinger was still waiting. Catch you next time.